Episode 11 of Ninja vs. Gokudo, titled Chapter 4, Childhood Mad Death Game Stage 5, marks a pivotal escalation in the series' escalating clan war, shifting from the intimate betrayals of prior installments to a high-stakes confrontation laced with psychological torment and historical echoes. Directed by series veteran Toshinori Watanabe at Studio Deen, this 23-minute chapter aired December 16, 2025, as part of the Fall Core's final arc, builds on the revelations of episodes 9 to 10, where the Polar Road Curse's remnants threatened a resurgence of the ancient ninja Gokudo grudge. Here, the narrative delves into a surreal death game framework, framed as a twisted childhood memory warped by trauma, where alliances fracture under the weight of unfulfilled promises and phantom threats. The episode's structure is methodical. A tense build-up to confrontation, a visceral duel sequence, and a hallucinatory climax that probes the characters' fractured psyches, all underscored by Yuki Hayashi's brooding shamisen score that swells into dissonant chaos. The chapter opens in the shadowed underbelly of a reconstructed Polar Road mirage, a frozen illusion conjured by the lingering grudge's psychic residue, manifesting as a derelict Edo-era fortress amid Tokyo's skyline. Prime Minister Aita, voiced with steely resolve by Huchu Otsuka, channeling a blend of political gravitas and hidden ferocity, long teased as a shadowy puppet master tied to the clan's back society and dealings, emerges as an unlikely fulcrum. No longer the distant manipulator from the Ledger arc, Aita steps into the fray to honor a clandestine vow to resurrect the dead ninja and a spectral cadre of fallen shinobi from Tanaka Shinoha's Chiaki Kobayashi lineage, including echoes of his trauma-haunted mentor from Episode 1's flashbacks. Aita, revealed through terse exposition as a reformed Gokudo informant who once owed his life to these ninjas during a shogunate-era purge, wields a ceremonial Japanese sword, a nod to Iai Jutsu traditions, etched with clan crests, its blade humming with latent curse energy. Enter Gamute Sumire Uesaka, delivering a performance of raw defiance laced with vulnerability, the tattooed Gokudo heiress whose arc has evolved from fiery antagonist to reluctant ally since her defection in Episode 5. Isolated and cut off from her syndicate's remnants, her uncle Iron Koi's forces scattered after the Ledger's destruction, Gamute embodies the episode's core theme, the extreme way Gokudo code, clashing against impossible odds. Her challenge to the Butohtori, a newly introduced ethereal guardian spirit, visualized as a colossal, ink-black phoenix with talons of frozen shadow, voiced in ethereal whispers by Kana Hanazawa, is born of desperation. Everything is for my friends. She declares, her voice cracking as she invokes the mujō. Impermanence, philosophy, slashing through illusory winds that slice her GI like razor gales. The Butohtori are phantom and construct of the grudge's malice, manifesting only in the minds of those scarred by loss, represents the intangible horrors that have haunted the series, not physical foes, but the psychological scars of childhood betrayals and mad, cyclical and death games and where survival demands sacrificing one's humanity. Key moments unfold with surgical precision. The duel between Aita and Gamute commences in a circular courtyard ringed by illusory cherry blossoms that bleed black petals, echoing the post-credits teasers. Aita's swordplay is methodical, each draw a calculated strike informed by ninja techniques he learned in exile. Parrying Gamute's wild wakizashi flurries with parries that send shockwaves rippling the air. Watanabe's direction emphasizes spatial logic. The camera tracks in long, unbroken takes, mapping the fighter's footwork against the fortress's geometry, heightening the tension as Gamute realizes the Butohtori's attacks are projections, harmless illusions that wound only through fear. Yet, mercy is fleeting. Air and quat, deep wound and quat, gashes her side from a phantom talon, crimson staining the snow, forcing her to confront the grudge's true weapon, doubt. In her and quat, disturbed thought, and quat, Gamute's mind fractures, birthing the episode's hallucinatory centerpiece, an illusion of Yumezawa, an enigmatic figure from her childhood, implied to be a lost Gokudo mentor or spectral sibling, voiced hauntingly by Mamiko Noto. Yumezawa's apparition crosses her vision like a fleeting dream, whispering mujō tenets, and quat, woo-woo and quat, Muga, selflessness, urging Gamute to and quat, let's go ahead and go, and quat, a fragmented plea to transcend the cycle, blending resolve with resignation. The sequence peaks in a feverish montage. Gamute's slashes devolve into desperate grapples with the air, Aita's blade halting inches from her throat as he intones, and quat, for the ninjas I couldn't save, and the friends you won't lose, and quat. The Butohtori dissipates in a swirl of aurora-lit shards, revealing the and quat, stage 5 and quat, of this mad death game as a psychic trial, victory not in killing, but in rejecting the phantom's lure. The chapter closes on a stark cliffhanger. Gamute, bloodied but unbowed, clutches Yumezawa's illusory hand as the polar roads cracks widen, hinting at a greater convergence where Tanaka and Kawami must intervene. The overall vibe is one of cerebral intensity, less explosive than Episode 6's Tower Siege, more introspective, evoking Mononoke's yokai hunts or Berserk's brand-induced visions, where physical scars pale against mental fractures. This installment advances the arc logically. Aita's intervention ties loose threads from the political conspiracy, Gamute's trial deepens her redemption, and the Butohtori's defeat signals the grudge's weakening grip, setting up a finale where personal vows eclipse clan vendettas. Studio Deen's execution in Episode 11 demonstrates a refined command of its hybrid aesthetic, blending hyper-detailed 2D character animation with selective CGI for environmental illusions, resulting in a visually coherent yet thematically dense experience. The art direction, led by Kazuhiro Arai, employs a desaturated palette of glacial blues and crimson accents to evoke the polar road's lingering chill, with the Butohtori's form rendered in fluid ink wash strokes that mimic traditional sumi-e, evocative of the manga's paneling without overwhelming the frame. Character designs remain consistent. Aita's stern features gain gravitas through subtle aging lines, while Gamute's tattoos pulse with a restrained glow during her mujō invocation, animated at 24 FPS for organic ferocity. Backgrounds excel in the fortress sequence, where practical set extensions integrate seamlessly with digital auroras, creating a layered depth that enhances the phantom's intangible menace. Animation quality peaks in the duel, with key sakuga sequences, courtesy of Reiji Sakagami, allocating higher frame rates to sword clashes, Iaijutsu. Draws captured in crisp 8 to 12 frame cycles, impacts yielding realistic blood mist via particle simulation. The hallucinatory Yumezawa illusion employs innovative negative space techniques, her form emerging from Gamute's shadow like a psychological bleed, a stylistic evolution from Episode 8's Dragon Dissolution. Sound design complements this. Jin Akutagawa's mix prioritizes diegetic elements, blade whistles, labored breaths, and the crunch of snow, while Hayashi's score deploys minimalist shamisen plucks to underscore Muga's selflessness, building to a subtle crescendo that avoids melodrama. Objectively, strengths lie in narrative visual synergy, the and quat, death game. Stage and quat, metaphor is visualized through geometric arena shifts, logically reinforcing the episode's themes of entrapment and release. However, minor inconsistencies arise in CGI integration. During the Butohtori's dispersal, shards occasionally exhibit unnatural rigidity, a holdover from budget constraints evident in earlier episodes. Pacing adheres to a logical three-act structure. Setup, confrontation, revelation, but the exposition on Aita's backstory feels front-loaded, potentially disrupting momentum for viewers less invested in lore. Voice performances are exemplary, with Yumezawa's Gamute conveying layered turmoil without excess emoting. Overall, Episode 11 scores as a mid-season pivot. Technically sound, 8.5/10, thematically rigorous, and structurally efficient, though it demands prior engagement to fully resonate. Episode 11 of Ninja vs. Gokudo functions as a logical fulcrum in the series' latter arc, methodically weaving personal stakes into the broader grudge mythology without unnecessary flourishes. Its success hinges on restraint. By foregrounding Gamute's internal trial over bombastic set pieces, it humanizes the Gokudo perspective, substantiating the narrative's central thesis that true conflict resolution stems from selflessness, mujō, rather than dominance. Aita's emergence as a bridge figure adds structural depth, resolving dangling threads from the Prime Minister's ledger ties while foreshadowing cross-clan reconciliation, a progression that feels earned after the emotional peaks of episodes 7 to 9. What elevates this chapter is its unflinching exploration of trauma's illusions. The Butohtori as and quat, phantom and quat, mirrors the series' recurring motif of perceived versus real threats, offering a cerebral counterpoint to the visceral action of prior duels. Performances and direction coalesce to deliver poignant beats, particularly Yumezawa's delivery of and quat, "Everything is for my friends," and quat, a line that encapsulates Gamute's evolution from isolated heir to vow-bound guardian. Critiques are minimal and constructive. The episode's introspective focus may test viewers craving unbridled spectacle, and Yumezawa's illusion, while evocative, risks opacity for newcomers. Nonetheless, it advances the plot coherently, priming the finale for a convergence where Tanaka and Kawami's otaku-forged bond could dismantle the remaining grudge. Prospects for the series' conclusion are optimistic, with the Polar Roads and quat, Stage 5 and quat, resolved. Episode 12 could logically culminate in a unified stand against the curse's core, potentially redeeming the and quat, dead ninjas and quat, through collective Muga. This installment reaffirms Ninja vs. Gokudo's place as Fall 2025's thoughtful action standout, mature in its pacing, profound in its psychology. Recommended for its structural integrity and thematic payoff.